And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in podcast land. Brendan Cunningham, the real estate doctor for EXP, with me again. Of course, Matt does it all. Why am I wearing the shades? Because it's that time of the year. We're getting into spring, and spring is sprung. Today is going to be the last official frost date in Western New York.
Excellent.
You know what that means?
It means no more frost.
And plant your tomatoes. Now you can plant your tomatoes.
That's right. They always say before Memorial Day, right?
Every time I do it before the 15th of the month, though, I get killed.
Yep.
Right, so I can take those up. Now you can see my eyes. You know, I'm telling the truth. And the other thing is, we're going to come out with the football schedule this afternoon.
Yes, yeah, I heard about that, and I heard some rumors about an important game. I don't know if you heard anything.
Which important game is that?
I heard that the last home game of the regular season is going to be against KC at home at the stadium at night.
That would be a beautiful thing.
When the mini Super Bowl.
Well, it's interesting. I don't want to say they're stacking the deck, but I think they want the Bills to win as much as we do here. Yeah. But one of the things that they're doing is there's no West Coast games.
Really?
The furthest west that they travel is Houston.
Wow.
Every other game is Eastern Seaboard.
That's interesting.
Every game that's left.
I've never remembered a season that's like that. Yeah.
So the longest they're going to fly is 1,300 miles.
Wow, that's good for us.
That's huge.
That's good for us.
Yeah. Traveling on the plane. If you travel, I used to travel literally every week, and
jet lag is a thing.
It's tiring. It's a young man's game. But at any rate, I heard something that I wanted to share with our listeners because we want to give you the real story. And one of the things that's fascinating is statistics. And as we all know, or at least everyone's heard Zillow and every other person say, the hottest market in America for the second year is
Buffalo, New York.
Buffalo, New York. How is that possible? Okay, fine. I saw on MSN the other day, and they did the top 15 markets that are the most stable in America. Interesting.
Yep.
Of course, Rochester is always in the mix. I think they were number 3 on the mix. They're always, whatever it is, snow, rain, whatever, they're in the mix. It's a nice town. Right now, I think the Lilac Festival is this week or next week, but it's a beautiful place. Yep. And of course, they came in at number 3. So, who do you think number 1 was? Are you ready for this?
Yeah. No, I'm curious.
It's fascinating. And I said, this has got to be the ultimate oxymoron. The number 1 hottest market in America is Buffalo. So the most stable market would be Buffalo.
You would think so, right?
Stable and hot at the same time.
Yeah, that's tough to do.
Well, that's sort of a contradiction. It really isn't if you peel all the layers back from the onion. But you got to peel because otherwise it sounds, that shouldn't be.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
One of the things that's happened in Buffalo is historically, the whole concept of ROI. ROI,
return on investment.
Return on investment. Okay, that's where in every other part of the world, that's what that means. Here, it means return of investment. You pay 100, you expect to get the 100 out. It doesn't go down. Yeah. But if you're looking for the big appreciation, like you have in some of the markets, Boston, New York City, those are the towns that have booms.
Yes.
But what do they also have? You want the booms?
Downturns.
You're going to have the busts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Houston, I think, was in and they've had booms and busts and booms and busts, and right now they're stable. Yep. And here, historically, everyone would say, if you had to be in a recession, this is the city to be in.
Yes. Yeah.
Because not a lot happens here.
Yeah, we weather it pretty well.
But you could bank on 3% appreciation every year, like clockwork, bing, bang, boom. But in the last couple of years,
it's been more.
We've been riding the sleigh ride here.
Yes.
And now we're hot. But we're hot and stable, which almost seems to contradict, but it really doesn't if you really look to see what's going on. So the rest of the markets that are out there are volatile, but we're stable volatile.
Yeah.
I just thought it was fascinating.
Yeah, that's great.
We're still continuing to see multiple offers. We're still continuing over the asking price, and that's just a given.
Yep. And a lack of inventory.
Yep. And that's going to continue. So,
Yeah. But that's great. That's good to know.
Well, but it's sort of a barometric reading because I think people say, what's really going on? And it's a very complicated answer. Depends on, there's a lot of moving parts. And depends on whether you're looking on the buy side or the sale side, commercial versus residential, residential versus income producing.
Yes.
Or you just want to rent. Yep. And there's a million renting. this is a good place to rent,
Yes.
relatively speaking,
Yes.
because the rents are only like $1,300 a month.
Yeah. I know.
Okay?
Yeah. Right.
Which I think is nuts.
Yep.
I'd rather have $1,300 go toward a mortgage payment any day of the week.
Yes.
But
Yep.
that's a whole other
Because
story.
it's equal to a mortgage payment, essentially.
And it makes an easier transition for people that, well, if I'm going to pay this, I can do that. If you're in New York City and you're paying $5,000 a month for rent,
Oof. Yeah.
you're kind of cooked.
Yeah. You're stuck.
You're in that lock.
Yep.
We don't want to see that here.
No.
So that, but we should also talk about one of the things. A lot of times when people want to get in a business,
Yep.
how do they know who to?
Yeah. Where do you start?
Where do you?
Right? Yeah.
Why one company versus another?
Yep.
And typically, when you talk to agents coming into the business, when you're on our side,
When you're already in,
when you're in, they'll say, well, they'll ask about a couple of things, and they're looking for things. What kinds of things are they looking for?
Basically, one of the first questions I always get asked is, "What's your split?"
Okay, and with the split, what's interesting about our splits are posted because we are a publicly traded corporation. There are no secrets. Okay, you can find out anything about us.
Yep.
If you go to our site, our splits are posted. Whereas if you go to most companies, I used to laugh when they would say this. They'd say, and remember, if you join us, we have no special deals.
Yeah.
Because they'd all say this, because they're all special deals.
Yes, exactly.
This guy gets this, he does that, they scratch. It gets a little weird.
Yep.
So we're just out there and we're clean.
Yep. Blanket, same for everyone.
Bing.
Yep.
Okay. I love the term that I learned in the real estate course many years ago, where if you were in the transaction, you had to have clean hands.
Oh.
Couldn't be a crook.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. Yep. No sticky fingers.
No sticky fingers. Okay. What else are they looking for?
So other than that, they want to know about training, mentorship.
Training and mentorship. Okay. And we should tell you that when you come into the business, there's a tremendous attrition rate. A lot of guys don't make it for one reason or another.
More don't.
But sometimes they don't make it because they didn't have direction.
Yes.
What do I do now? Okay. When you come out of real estate school from that first little 77 and a half hour.
Yeah, 75 hours.
It teaches you the rules of the road. It doesn't ever put you in the car.
No.
We put you in the car.
No.
Okay. So, and we teach you not just the rules of the road, but when you turn the wheel this way, you could and how
we
to
give you a roadmap on where to go.
Yeah, we connect the dots for you, so we get you to the business side. But having said that, there's this thing called mentoring, mentorship.
Yep.
Many companies offer it, and some companies do a good job with it, and some companies do a not so good job with it.
Yeah, there's not really a platform or a structure to it.
Yeah, it's loosey-goosey. It's all over the board. And I love the term mentorship because I'm a history buff, and it comes from Greek mythology. Mentor, what it comes from is Odysseus. Before he went off to fight the Trojans in the war, he was concerned about leaving his family behind, and he was the favorite of, I think, Athena at the time, the goddess of wisdom. And she said, "Don't worry, I'm going to take care of you." And she says, "I'm going to send somebody to help your son Telemachus."
Oh.
And she sends this old guy down, and of course it's Athena in disguise, and his name is Mentor. The goddess of wisdom was directing him for 20 years while he's off doing the thing.
Wow.
And he did a good job. She did a good job. We have mentors at EXP, but our mentors are
certified.
A lot different. You're a certified mentor.
Yes.
I'm a certified mentor. Now, we have members on our team that are not certified mentors, but here's where it gets great. Because of our culture being based on the concept of collaboration, I don't want to say that we're all mentors, but we kind of all are.
We're all looking out for each other, for sure.
But you will specifically be assigned to you'll be assigned to somebody. And if you don't like him, you can change him.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't like you, we can change you.
Yeah.
It's a two-way street.
Always.
It's totally open. And okay, so you have mentorship, and did you say education?
Yes, training, education.
Training is constant in our business.
Oh yeah.
If you want to do well. If you don't want to do well, you take a course, but because you're required to.
Mm-hmm.
All of us are required, once you get licensed, to take at least 22 and a half hours every 2 years. All of us are required to do that. But the courses that we're required to take, frankly,
are pretty
they're middle, and they're not really based on market considerations as much as the rules of the road. And I'm fine, and I'm certified as an instructor at the Board of Realtors on the faculty there. They're good courses, but they don't really
dive
what we do. They don't dive in the same way that we do.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes a big difference if you have people that understand how to really truly connect the dots.
Yes, especially ones that have already proven their success and that,
Okay.
right?
With us, there's 50 years of experience. It's got to be worth something.
Yeah.
I mean, we might have one good idea, I would hope, or maybe two. Well, there's two of us. We should have one.
Yeah, at least two.
Yeah, you're right. That's not a good idea. Okay. But yeah, so with this culture of collaboration, and we had some serious hitters on our team. Our chief,
Yeah,
our team
fearless leader.
our fearless leader, Joe Hutt, past president of the Association of Realtors, Realtor of the Year. Bam.
Yep.
Big medicine.
Yep.
We have Lori.
Lori, yeah.
Wonderful realtor. I did a deal with her, and I said, "Wow, this is a really good agent."
She's a top 100 agent.
Top 100 there. Oh, guess what? She's the president-elect for the association. Oh, and she just happens to be on our team.
Yep.
You could ask Lori anything, and
she's a certified teacher at the board, right?
Certified teacher at the board. She's on the faculty.
Yeah.
I mean,
wears a lot of hats.
So we have a lot of people that can help you and get you to where you want to go with your business. Okay, what else might that ask?
All right, so
back up. Education.
Yes. Yeah.
We have lots of layers of education.
Oh, yeah.
EXP.
The EXP University.
There's a minimum of 80 courses a week that get taught.
Yeah. Yep.
Any hour of the day, you can plug into this thing. Okay. It's online. Is the auditorium, and it's participation.
And most of the trainings are free.
Yeah.
Almost pretty much all.
Frankly, almost all.
Yep.
95%.
Yep.
So there's that. And then I have to laugh. One of the things that we get as just being part of our EXP group, our group is, we call it the organization. It's those things that the mob or something like that. We have guys that do coaching on our team. And you can buy their program. Literally, you can buy their program off anyone. At XYZ Real Estate can buy it. It's $6,000. We just get it because we're in our organization. I have to laugh. Can you get your little bottle over there? You took it, and we buy courses and stuff. We go off, we buy things off the shelf. We do that sometimes.
Yeah.
I said, wow, that's a really nice. Let me tell you about this thing.
Yeah.
How much did this cost?
So it was a $10,000 investment.
Okay.
And it was about 3 months long.
Okay.
I took a lot from it, learned a lot.
Okay.
Got a water bottle,
a couple books. Bottle, $10,000.
A couple books, and then when it was done, I had no more access to anything. Okay. So it was a little.
Or you can do it with us, and we just give it to you.
Yeah, and you can continue to take it or take it over and over again, without a charge.
And write the check for 10, or don't write the check for 10. It's your call.
Yeah, seriously, yeah. And that's a hard check to write.
Yeah, so those checks are the big ones.
Yeah, those are the ones you remember.
One of the things that I would always do when new agents would approach me, and is part of my mission, is to keep you from spending money. Because you can spend money till you die in this.
Well, and the dues are always coming. So
somebody's always hitting up. Do this. My favorite is the placemat at the diner.
Yep.
I'm going there for ham and eggs. If I see your picture there, oh, he's a real estate agent. I'm saying, oh, thank God I saw him because I want to sell my. That's not how it works.
No, your plate goes over that right away.
Yeah, plate goes right up. And if I needed a doctor, I'm not looking on my place. Oh, here's a doctor.
Yeah.
Oh, and he can take my brain out. I'm not doing that. That's crazy.
No,
crazy. So they're looking for splits. They're looking for training.
Yep.
They're looking for, what else did you say?
I know it was the third thing that we had talked about beforehand.
Leads? We talk about leads?
Oh, yes. Leads.
Number one thing, it's changed over the years, where the questions have changed.
Yep.
But leads.
Yep.
A lot of companies started to say, oh my, I've got to feed my flock here. And how do I do that? Well, the broker knows different people. So he could have sold the house, but I think I'll give it to this person over here. And then you get into the system of favoritism and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
We have lead generating systems in our company. It's KV Core. The workplace thing. Workplace thing generates 100 leads every week just on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So we can bury you in leads if that's what you're looking for. And a lot of companies can do that, but you pay for them.
Oh yeah, in a percentage usually, or upfront and a percentage.
Especially you pay up front.
Yep.
I'm not about paying up front for anything.
No, me either.
You pay me. I work on a contingency basis. I work
performance.
It's performance based.
Yes. Yep.
So we can give you leads, and then you do what you need to do with them, and it's a beautiful thing.
Yep.
Now, of course, we expect that you're going to build your own book of business from your own circle of business, and that's fine.
Yep.
But when you come here, so leads, we've addressed that.
Yep.
Education, we've addressed that.
Percentage
of money.
Yep.
Okay, that's what everyone's going to talk to every company in the world about.
Yep.
Okay. We've addressed 3 of those things.
Yep.
But some of the things that we bring to the table as EXP owners,
Yep.
because we're all owners.
Yes. First deal you do, you get percentage of ownership.
You get a percentage of no. You're not going to be voting the president
Yeah,
out.
no.
But as time goes by, your share and your ownership position changes.
And you have a physical interest in the company, which is amazing, or monetary.
If Matt sells something, not only do I applaud him, but indirectly it benefits me because the stock goes up.
Yep.
It's a beautiful thing. And we all want to be stockholders. We have a program which I think is also interesting. You can talk to other companies that are out there. A lot of companies, franchises,
Yep.
And they're good. I'm not saying companies are not good or not good. They're different.
Yep.
But if you join a company that's a franchise, you can expect to pay a franchise fee. Okay, and that comes right off the top.
Yes.
So now how much are the franchise fees? They range anywhere. I've seen them as low as 2
I was
and as
paying
high
5%
as 10.
at my last place.
And you were paying 5 at your last place. I think it's actually 5.5 now.
Oh yeah, could have increased. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, the cost of bread went up too.
Yeah, exactly.
And everything seems to go up. But this is what's really interesting, and this is one of these light bulb moments because of the stock. We have one of the programs that EXP has for all of its members is we have a stock participation program where you earn stock just by doing things that you would have done anyway. It's extra.
Yep.
Okay. You never would have saw it. No negative to it at all. But if you were selling a house and you're with one of the franchise groups, and let's just use the 5.5 number just for the time being, 5.5% of that comes off the top.
Mm-hmm.
If you're with us and you're smart, because everyone says if you're smart, just do this one thing.
Yeah.
They said defer 5% of your compensation on every transaction that you do, and have it go towards stock. And this is what happens. It's based on the concept that nobody misses 5%. That's why franchises keep it right around that magic number.
Yes.
Once it gets to 10, it's a tougher sell.
Yep.
But there's companies that do that, and they can say, well, but we're going to give you this, this, and that. Okay. So I can allocate my money toward the brokerage so they can pay for those sexy ads, national ads.
And all the offices.
And the gold jackets and all this kind of stuff. That's fine. You could do that. Or you could take that same amount of money, 5%, and put it into stock. You're never going to miss the 5 and have it accumulate.
But it's yours.
Oh,
yeah.
But it's yours. You're investing into yourself.
Yes.
Here's where it gets really
not going away.
If you could buy stock at a 5% discount every time, wouldn't you do it? Yeah,
absolutely.
You get that stock at a 5% discount on that the day that you purchased it, and then when it goes up, it's yours.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, or whatever. But yeah, fully vested after 3 years. We have people that buy buildings just with the stock that they accumulated over the last couple of years.
Yeah. And that's just doing regular work.
This is just doing regular work. It's just an extra thing. It's just an extra thing. People are using that as a retirement program.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the real coolest thing about EXP. And it's a commercial. We're doing a commercial. A lot of people, one of the problems in real estate is you don't work, you don't eat. You don't sell a house, you don't get paid.
Yep. It is what you put into it, you get out.
It's what it is. So a lot of times people burn out and they don't have a retirement plan. This is a retirement plan.
Yeah.
This is a great retirement plan.
Yep.
Every once in a while, we'll even have somebody come to us and say, one of the things I'm concerned about is how do I handle my medical insurance?
Mm-hmm.
We have medical insurance.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, I don't use it because I'm older and I'm on Medicare and all stuff like that. But Joel Husvar, who is our fearless leader, he's a young guy and he's single and he needed medical insurance. He was writing the big check to Blue Cross Blue Shield, whoever.
Yep.
I paid a lot of money. I think he's saving like 25%.
Yeah, a significant amount.
And he's getting better coverage.
Mm-hmm.
He says, wow, I would have done it just for that.
Yeah.
Just for that. Yeah. So I don't even really bring that thing up until somebody else brings it up because it slips my mind because it's not something that I focus on.
Well, then not a lot of companies offer that. I never had
I never heard of a company that offered
No, not in real estate. Okay. So,
But again, publicly traded corporation, there are different rules, different guidelines. Mm-hmm. They got to do certain things for their staff. Mm-hmm. And offices.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of people don't go into the office.
Not anymore.
Okay.
No.
And that's been a trend for years.
Yep.
But if you need an office, you need an office. Okay. But what if you're across town and you don't want to drive back 30 miles to your office?
Yeah.
We have offices all over.